is unsustainable, and dealing with the debt is politically unfeasible. Now, we dealt with this as a people before, although the problem was less severe. In the decade of the 1970s, politically, we couldn't raise taxes, but we had to pay for deficits, and we had to account for the debt brought up in the war in Vietnam, which of course we lost, and the war on poverty, which of course we lost. How did we do that? Well, in the decade of the 70s, according to the US government, through inflation, we reduced the purchasing power of the US dollar by 75% over 10 years. Not coincidentally, the gold price went from $35 to $850. The only way that we can service the nominal debt that we have as a people, particularly our entitlements obligation, is to inflate away the net present value of the obligation while leaving the nominal value intact. An old geezer named Rick Rule, 71 years old. I don't know what Social Security pays me, but let's say it's $4,000. You know, I was a high income taxpayer. 10 years from now, they'll still pay me that nominal amount. They won't reduce it, although they can't afford to pay it. What they will do is they will inflate away the net present value of that nominal account. So my $4,000 will buy me $600 or $700, maybe $1,000 worth of goods and services. That's how you deal with that sort of thing. You either default honestly, you say to the bondholders and you say to the entitlement holders, too bad, so sad, money's all gone, strong letter to follow, or you default gradually by inflating away the net present value of the purchasing power. My suspicion is past is prologue, and we take door B, which is very good for gold. Gold in 2024, who knows? Gold in 2025, who knows? Look over 10 years. If you look back to the decade of the 70s, it'll tell you something about their trajectory. 1970 to 1972, gold went from being controlled to decontrolled, so it was $35 to $100. Gold went on a tear from $100 to $200, doubled. 1975, the Fed raised the interest rates. Gold fell from 200 to 100. End of 1975, the Fed lost their nerve politically, cut the interest rates. And that set off a romp at the end of 1975 that saw gold go to $850. Past in this case is prologue. Gold will go up and down, higher bottoms, higher tops. People who don't understand the process will be shaken out when gold softens up. By the way, the price decline from $2,700 to $2,600, that's a rounding error. It's truly a rounding error. 1975, the gold price fell from $200 to $100. That's a fall. People who got shaken out in 1975 missed a 5-year run from a $100 bottom to an $850 top. Folks need to give their head a shake. So I'm really attracted to negative social media discussions of any one topic. The lady or the gentleman who posted yawned, saying that gold or silver never performs. I read comments all the time that says, when is gold going to move? To which my answer is, let me think. I think gold's going to move in the year 2000. Since 2000, gold has moved from $253 an ounce to a high of 27 something, currently around 26. What is that, a 7-fold return? Gold has done 8 and change compounded annually for 24 years. And some moron says, when is gold going to move? It always fails. That person is enumerate. Mercifully for me, people who are probably smarter than me that don't apply their brains to the task at hand lose money while I make money. The audience that got an erection about an increase in the silver price over $32 needs to give their head a shake. When you go into a silver bull market, you won't be concerned about dollar moves or dollar and a half moves. And you won't need some old crank named Rick Rule to tell you when you have a silver market, and by the way, it's when, the market will be absolutely positively dramatic. And if you aren't prepared for it, maybe early, maybe 2 years early, uh, the best part of the move, you'll lose. When I look back to my recent silver junior trade, I had no idea where the silver price was going to go. I just knew that you had a sector that was extraordinarily volatile, that had no sellers left. Market, all of the social media discussion was despondent about the silver market. High quality silver issuers, juniors, weren't getting funded, which is to say the momentum was terrible. Well, of course the price is going to go up. If all the sellers have been exhausted, it doesn't take much of a buyer to drive the price. Now, 9 months later, the prices are up 300%. Guys go tell the same story at Beaver Creek that they told last year, and as opposed to taking 7, they're offered 60. What does that tell you, Kai? Yeah, I mean, the US dollar is the worst currency in the world, as Doug Casey would say, except all the others. Doug described the US dollar as an IOU nothing. He described the euro, which has what, 15, 16 countries, as a who owes you nothing. And I would suggest that the BRICS, a bunch of countries with inconvertible currencies who don't like or trust each other, is a nobody owes you anything. So in that league, the US dollar is pretty strong. I save and insure in gold. I maintain my liquidity in US dollars. And I invest in companies. That's sort of how I look at it. I have a lot of US dollars right now because I have more liquidity than I would like to have, which is really a consequence of the fact that I'm like Buffett.